Greinke and a combined 20 strikeouts. Tonight, C.J. Wilson was trying to keep the Mariners at bay, while the Angels try to solve King Felix. Game 2 is next. Beautiful night for baseball here in Southern California. The Angels running a 4-game winning streak tonight. Begin the second game of the 3-game set against the visiting Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at the American League wild card standings. The Baltimore Orioles have that top spot. They have won tonight. They defeated the Toronto Blue Jays. The Tampa Bay Rays are currently leading the Boston Red Sox, and the Oakland Athletics are leading the Texas Rangers down in Arlington. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here at Fox Sports West. Victor Rojas along with my partner Mark Gubicza, and it's time for baseball and try to win some baseball games, because that is what you need to do when everyone ahead of you, especially the wild card leaders, continue to win games. And the Angels tonight will have C.J. Wilson going for them on the mound, Felix Hernandez going for the Seattle Mariners. And if you're the Angels offense, you kind of look back on the 3 starts that Felix has had against the Angels, and you feel pretty good, because even though he's an elite type of pitcher, the Angels have been able to score some runs against him.
A lot of success against him when you think about it. 6-11 King Felix is against the Angels. The reason why they've been able to be successful, they generally get him earlier in the game. He's more of a guy that throws a lot of fastballs early on, and then when the game progresses, his secondary pitches become outstanding, and he utilizes them more. Now, when you look at C.J. Wilson, he has an opportunity tonight go out there and dominate. We saw what Zach Greinke did last night as far as the strikeout. He got ahead of the count. CJ's got a great fastball. He's 10-5 in his career versus the Mariners. Utilize that 2-seam fastball, cut fastballs in, and then when you get it ahead of the count, throw those secondary pitches to get some quick outs. You want to go deep in the game and give your team an opportunity, because this is the biggest game of the year right now for C.J. Wilson and the Angels when you look up and see those other teams ahead of you in the wild card race winning tonight.
Well, especially with the bullpen in use, C.J. needs to work some innings this evening. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. last night 5-4. Nice job by for the bullpen, with the exception of Scott Downs, who gave up 3 runs in that 7th inning through 2/3 of it. Gary Richards was very good. Kevin Jepson was exceptional. And Ernesto Frieri, who picked up his 21st save, lights out with a 1-2-3 9th inning. Now it's up to C.J. Wilson to try to take care of the Seattle Mariners. And we'll take a look at Eric Wedge's lineup for tonight. Seattle with a 72-82 record. We'll have Dustin Ackley leading things off and playing second base. Franklin Gutierrez is in center field. Kyle Seager at third. Jesus Montero is the cleanup hitter and serves as a DH tonight. Justin Smoke, a couple of home runs last night. He's at first. Miguel Olivo back behind the plate. Casper Wells got into the game late last night. He gets a start in right field. Sean Figgis, the former Angel, is in left, and Brendan Ryan batting ninth and playing shortstop. Taking on C.J. Wilson, looking to step it up from that last start that he had against the Texas Rangers, in which he was yanked from the game in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I mentioned in the opening, he's a 10-5 in his career versus the Mariners. That should help you out as far as your confidence. And when you navigate through this lineup for the Seattle Mariners, there's a couple guys in particular that CJ has to keep an eye on. Gutierrez is very good against him, 375 batting average, and Casper Wells, 400 batting average with 1 home run, is 2 for 5 against him. So you try to get that sinker down against the other batters, and when they come around, you try to be careful with them. Don't throw anything in the middle part of the plate.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense for the Angels. Behind C.J. Wilson, Mark Trumbo back in left field, Mike Trout at center, Torrey Hunter is in right. The infield consists of Alberto Callaspo, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Kendrys Morales from third to first. Chris Ionetta is behind the plate.
And with C.J. on the mound, a lot of ground balls, and Howie Kendrick very active in that second base position. Has turned 77 double plays, and C.J. Wilson, one of the best there is as far as getting that ground ball double play. Just 1 error in his last 22 starts at second base for Howie Kendrick.
Well, the Angels last night, with 8 hits. They had a big home run by Torrey Hunter in the 5th inning. Eric Ibar somehow still trying to figure out from a physics professor how he was able to keep that pitch fair down the right field line.
Yeah, how did he do that? That ball had a chance to hit him in the stomach.
No idea. Fastball in on the hands from Erasmo Ramirez, but he was able to pull it down the line to pick up his 8th home run of the year. Seattle, even though they had 20 strikeouts in the game, and that for the Angels is a new club record, did rack out 11 hits, but they stranded 9 men on the bases and went 2 for 13 with men in scoring position. Dustin Ackley leads things off, swinging first pitch, and that's what you like to see. 1 pitch and 1 out to start off the game.
And Howie right away, active, get that ground ball. You want to see CJ be aggressive, stay down in the strike zone, utilize that very good defense in the infield.
I mentioned that start against Texas, 2 2/3 for CJ. 3 runs, all earned on 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 2. He's gone for a stretch of 6 starts without a loss prior to that loss, but ended up taking the loss. And that was the game that Jerome Williams came in and threw a phenomenal 4 1/3 shutout innings of relief. A 1 pitch. It was on the corner. An 0-2 count of the center fielder, Franklin Gutierrez, who went 2 for 5 last night, including a couple of doubles. Also picked up an RBI. No 2 on the way. Good cut fastball, a breaking pitch down and in. Count remains at 0-2.
Yeah, you can afford to do so when you work ahead of the count like CJ has done against Gutierrez. Talked about his numbers against a 375 with a home run, 6 for 16. And you're in a position right now, if you're CJ, to make him swing at your pitch.
Fastball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The last 2 starts for the Angels, as far as starting pitchers are concerned, they labored in that first inning, but both guys settled down. Weaver did it on Sunday, 33 pitches in that first inning. Greinke last night laboring through that first inning as Gutierrez goes down swinging for the second out.
A good location of this cut fastball. Late break to it, swing and miss. 1-2 count allows you to make that type of pitch.
Two outs, nobody out for Kyle Seager, the third baseman. 2 for 5 last night. Picked up an RBI. Looks at a strike. That's up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gary Cedarstrom calling the balls and strikes tonight. Lance Barksdale at first, Fielding Colbert at second, and Adrian Johnson over at third. This one ripped, and Kendrys Morales with a diving stop races to the bag, and he retires Kyle Seager, robbing him of extra bases. A 1-2-3 inning for C.J. Wilson. We will head to the bottom of the first. It'll be Trout, Hunter, and Pujols coming up with those scores. C.J. Wilson with a 1-2-3. Top of the first, we'll check out Mike Scioscia starting 9 for the Angels this evening. Mike Trout will lead things off and play center field. Torrey Hunter's in right. Albert Pujols will serve as DH tonight. Kendrys Morales flashing the leather at first base is the cleanup hitter. Alberto Callasco at third. Howie Kendrick at second. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Mark Trumbo in left field, bat 8. And Chris Iannetta batting 9. Doing the catching as they take on the 26-year-old right-hander native of Valencia, Venezuela by the name of Felix Hernandez.
And Hernandez fastball 92-97, curveball, slider, changeup, all plus pitches. Key against him is get that fastball early in the count.
Felix with a 13-8 mark, a 2.85 ERA. He'd been knocked around for a couple of starts in early September, bounced back to have a very good start against Baltimore, allowing just 1 run in 8 innings. Giving up 6 hits in that start against the Orioles. Got a no decision. He had 3 straight losses against the Angels, the A's, and the Blue Jays. Mike Trout last night, 2 for 4, a couple of runs scored, had a stolen base, hitting .324 on the year. This one's out toward right, playable for Casper Wells, who comes charging in. And there's the first out of the bottom of the first. Defensively for Seattle, Figgins, Gutierrez, and Wells from left to right. The infield has Seager, Ryan, Ackley, and Smoke. Their diversal Levos behind the plate.
Former Angel Sean Figgins in the left field. He has 2 outfield assists, 1 error. He's played a number of positions, different positions at the major league level, and has done a solid job in each one of them. 25 or more games played at 6 different positions for Sean Figgins. Strong throwing arm also.
Torrey swinging at the first pitch, fouls one back. And it's an 0-1 count. Hunter last night 2 for 3, including a 2-run home run. 16th of the year, has 86 runs batted in. One ball, 1 strike on Torrey, and our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, Pitbull and Shakiro for you tonight, Victor. Get it started. Talked about the need to get some early runs against King Felix, because when he settles in and start utilizing that secondary pitches he has, it's very difficult to score against him.
Angels in that start on September the 1st. at Safeco Field. Scored 5 runs, 4 earned on 9 hits and 7 1/3. Angels won that game 5-2. 1-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3 on the inside corner with a fastball, 2 down.
Goes in with a fastball, and it's going to be off the inside corner at 94. Now Felix will throw a 2-seam fastball, a 4-seam fastball, and a cut fastball. Fairly similar speed, though the cut fastball will be about 89 to 91 range.
2 outs, nobody on for Albert. Serving as a DH tonight. Looks at a strike. Albert 2 for 4 last night. Couple of singles, a run batted in. Extending his hitting streak to 6 games. 102 runs batted in for Pujols. Tied him up with that fastball.
That's a good 2-seam fastball running off the plate. Pujols is 3 for 10 in his career versus Felix Hernandez with 1 home run.
The 0-2. This is bounced up the line, but foul. Missed in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and actually a 7-game hitting streak. Missed a game for Albert. 288 on the year with 30 home runs. C.J. Wilson with a 1-2-3. Top of the first. Felix Hernandez has retired the first 2 here in the bottom of the inning. That is a little bit low. Count evened up at 2-2. The game in Texas is now in the top of the 5th inning. Oakland leading the Rangers 8-3. Tampa Bay leading Boston 4-2. Rays are 1 game behind the Angels in the wild card as Albert goes down swinging on the breaking pitch. Olivo applies the tag, and the Angels go down in order. 1 complete here at the Big A. And we are scoreless. Top of the 2nd with no score. It'll be Montero smoking Olivo to face C.J. Wilson. Felix Hernandez picking up a couple of strikeouts in the bottom of the inning. C.J. picked up 1 strikeout, and that was a Franklin Gutierrez. Jesus Montero, the DH, will step to the plate to lead things off. Did not play last night. Hitting .261 on the year with 15 home runs and 56 runs batted in. This one's lined to center field. Trout is right there. Makes the catch. And again, 2nd straight inning. First batter, one pitch, one out. Hey, folks, season seat deposits for the 2013 season are now being accepted. Place your deposit now to receive priority for next season. For more information and to place that deposit, just call 888-796-HALO or log on at angels.com/season seats.
Now you mentioned that 2 innings in a row. CJ's got a 1 pitch out to lead off an inning. So important to be aggressive, utilizing the defense. Kendrys Morales made an outstanding play to end that first inning.
First one to Justin Smoak is in for a strike. The switch hitting first baseman hit 2 home runs last night, his second career multi-homer game. Finishing up going 2 for 3. 212 average with 18 home runs now and 48 runs batted in. Swing and a miss, 0-2. A couple of former teammates with the Texas Rangers.
That's a real good cut fastball. We've seen a couple already in the game for Wilson.
0-2. Breaking ball down into the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. Smoak, a former first-round pick by the Rangers. The University of South Carolina. Traded to Seattle as part of the Cliff Lee trade a couple of years ago. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seattle's been hoping that Smoak becomes that middle part of the order type of bat. Kind of in the mold of Mark Teixeira, so much so they put him on the cover of their media guide this year along with Dustin Ackley and Felix Hernandez. The count has gone full now.
He's certainly been hitting well in his last 10 games. 472 batting average with 4 home runs and 7 RBI.
Sent down to the minor leagues this year. Here's the 3-2. Down the line and tailing toward the seats.
He's late on that fastball from CJ. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, but it had good action at the end. It was down and away. CJ's got to utilize that pitch often tonight.
Another payoff, and this one skied to shallow left. Eric Ibar drifting out. Trumbo comes charging in. Error takes care of it. 2 outs. Long season for Eric Wedge. I'll tell you what, if they can find the offense, 1 or 2 guys in the middle part of that order for Seattle. They've got the pitching staff right now that throws the ball well. They are 3rd in the American League in team ERA with a 3.72 earned run average. Starters at 3.93, relievers at 3.15.
And he's done a nice job with this team. When you think about it, you mentioned the pitching staff and their defense. It's been excellent lead in the American League in fielding percentage. It's just a matter of finding some guys that get some hits with runners in scoring position, which has been an issue too, along with the batting average.
Breaking pitches in there. 0-2 count on Miguel Olivo.
We said that a number of times already in the game for CJ. He's faced 6 batters so far, all 6. First pitch strikes.
Oh-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Olivo last night had 3 hits. 2 doubles and a single. 3 for 4. I think 217. 12 home runs, 29 runs batted in. 2-2. 3 catchers on the roster for Seattle with Olivo, Jaso, and Montero.
Olivo with the best throwing arm with the 3.
Two. Swing and a miss. Down goes Olivo on the off-speed pitch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Wilson. We'll head to the bottom of the second with no score. His Halo Honk for Life t-shirt on. Roger Lodge. Darren Chan, producer engineer, has it on.
Oh, look at
it. It's
for
Team
life.
Halo Honk.
Yes, for life.
So they've got that going for them.
Yes.
Roger Lodge, I believe, is up in the along the first base line with a group of Halo Honks. Roger, of course, the host of the morning show on AM 830.
That seems about 3 runs right now, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's good for 3.
Kendrys Morales takes upstairs, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. It's nice of Roger to print up 3 T-shirts.
Yeah.
For the 3 radio guys.
We're still waiting for ours.
Yeah. Can't wait till he calls this weekend or early next week for an interview. No habla, Roger.
My phone doesn't work anymore. I don't know what happened. I dropped it. That would be a shock.
Exactly. Morales with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. It'll be Morales, Callaspo, and Kendrick. This one fouled off to the left. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kendricks last night went 0 for 3 and was also hit by a pitch leading off the 8th inning. Hitting .275, 22 home runs and 71 runs batted in. Breaking pitch, pounds foul. Dustin Ackley, the second baseman, out in shallow right field. That's as much as the overshift on Morales. Brendan Ryan shading up toward the middle.
And both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes early on here.
This one's hit, and Ackley can't get it into the overshift. And just past the Mariners' second baseman, it's a leadoff single.
Good swing by Morales against a very tough pitcher. He gets it by Ackley. Playing in the outfield. Kendricks hits beyond the shift there. They get a base hit. A good swing from Morales. So that's a pretty good success against King Felix. Hitting .310 coming in that at bat.
Leadoff man on, and Alberto Callaspo rips one over the head of Ackley into right center field. Wells comes up with it, and Morales advances to second. So the Angels with back-to-back singles to start this second inning. And Howie Kendrick coming up.
Another good swing. That fastball in the inner half, and turns on it. That pinch hit grand slam against King Felix in Seattle earlier in the year. A fastball in the inner half turned on it. Again, we see that infield, middle infield from Seattle playing up double play depth.
Showing bunt, drops a bunt on the first base side. Smoke will pick it up. The sacrifice advances Morales to third and Callaspo to second.
I think when you're facing a guy like King Felix, you got to try to manufacture runs with 2 base hits to start the inning. Like Scioscia has, Howie square around to get the job done as far as a sacrifice bunt. Perfect bunt.
So Ibar will come up with an opportunity to put the Angels up in this one. Mariners playing their infield back. Seager near the bag at third base. First one to Ibar. Cut fastball in on the hands, fouled off his ankle. It's an 0-1 count. Eric last night 1 for 3, was his 8th home run of the year. 43rd run batted in, a solo shot down the right field line. Hitting .291 on the season, has 30 doubles also and 5 triples. Ball on the ground toward the middle infielders, puts the Angels on the board. Kendrys Morales standing at third base. Oh, 1 pitch. This one sliced down the left field line. There's a base hit headed toward the corner. 2 runs will come in. Ibar on his way to second, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead.
Oh, another good approach. Solid piece of hitting from Ibar. 45 RBI. Again, getting those early runs against Felix Hernandez has been the key why the Angels have been success against him. That fastball in half, just let his hand stay back and just punch it into left field. Drive it in too with his 31st double.
Puts himself in the scoring position. Nice job by Figgins to play that carom off the side wall there. Otherwise, that ball gets by him and down to the corner. Eric's running for a while. As Trumbo steps to the plate, still 1 out. First one's a breaking ball for a strike. Trumbo last night 0 for 3, hitting .262 on the season. 31 home runs, 89 runs batted in.
2 career home runs against Felix Hernandez. That one here at Angel Stadium was crushed into the rock pile.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Breaking pitch, curveball first pitch, changeup second pitch.
In the dirt, blocked by Olivo. Ibar's trying to go to third, and he is in there safely. Seager comes up with the baseball and tries to deke Ibar into thinking the ball got by him, but Eric stayed right on the bag.
What a
wild pitch.
Great read by Ibar, too. The ball didn't get away from Olivo that far. With that good secondary lead, and then to react as soon as he saw that ball in the dirt. Forced Olivo to have to try to make a throw on the run. High throw. Ibar safe. 13th wild pitch of the year for Felix Hernandez.
And now the infield is in for Eric Wedge. 2-0 Angels here in the second. A 1-ball, 2-strike count on Mark Trumbo with Chris Iannetta on deck. Swing and a miss, and he got him. 2 outs. Nothing but breaking pitches against Trumbo.
Breaking pitch down. Early in the year, you saw Mark Trumbo just let his hand stay back long enough. More compact level swing and hit that ball hard to right center field. Still trying to fight and find that swing.
So Iannetta steps up, hitting .246 after going 0 for 2 last night. Looks at a strike on a fastball. 8 home runs, 25 runs batted in for Chris Iannetta. 3 hits in the inning for the Halos. Back-to-back singles by Kendrys Morales and Alberto Callaspo. Sack bunt by Howie Kendrick and a 2 RBI double by Eric Ibar.
There's been some real good approaches to the plate and a very good bunt by Howie Kendrick to advance Morales and Callaspo in the scoring position to allow Ibar to drive them both in.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Well, he's got a good power sinker. Sometimes that pitch right there, when it's 88, even 89, that's his hard changeup. It has great sink action.
Cy Young Award winner 2010. That was the season after he inked his 5-year contract. Just got a piece of it and off the body of Olivo. So Cal remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he has won 4 games this year, 1-0. 1-0 shutouts, including a 1-0 perfect game, a 1-0 shutout in New York.
Tied him up. Missed up and in. Full count. Trout's on deck.
Well, you think right now he's going to come back with that little two-seamer down and in.
Payoff pitch on the way. This was a little foul on the third base side.
And as good as King Felix has been since coming to the major leagues, we talked about his lack of success against the Angels, 6-11, but 2-5 here at the Big A. There's no question that plays into your mind as a pitcher.
This one's fouled off to the right. Three starts against the Angels this year. May 26th, they gave up 5 runs, all earned on 10 hits and 6 innings at Safeco. Took the loss. August the 10th here, 5 runs, 4 earned, and 7 innings. No decision, and took the loss on September the 1st. Another 3-2. This one's bounced foul.
Well, if anything, this at bat, Chris Iannetta is making him work. Pitch count increasing. Fouling off some pretty tough pitches. Next pitch will be number 10 against Iannetta. And the more pitches you see as a hitter, the more apt you're going to get a mistake from a pitcher.
Foul back, and that got to leave him. Well, he's got a couple of foul tips in this inning from the Bobby Wilson plant.
We've seen Bobby get hit quite a bit on foul tips this year. And you know, Bobby's saying, you know, I feel your pain right there.
Felix Hernandez, 23 pitches here in the second. The Angels with a 2-0 lead. Another 3-2. Breaking pitch, bounce foul.
And that was the hanger. He hung that breaking pitch was out of the middle of the plate. He just pulled off it. Well, if Chris can keep his hands back and shoot that ball to right field, becomes a very hittable pitch.
Ibar standing at third base. Had a double with 2 runs batted in. Moved to third on a wild pitch. Trout hanging out on the on-deck circle. And he walked him. Nice plate appearance for Chris Iannetta. First walk issued by Felix. That'll bring out Carl Willis, the pitching coach.
That's more of a product to settle down. Felix Hernandez, a tough at bat by Iannetta. Seen a number of pitches fouled off, a bunch of tough pitches too.
And that's all this conversation is. It's just kind of, hey, all right, no big deal. Great at bat for him or plate appearance for him. You know what you need to do now to get the third out. This is the guy that obviously has a lot of experience. Cy Young Award winner. Not a whole lot Carl Willis is going to tell Felix Hernandez in this situation.
No, especially, you know, Felix has been so consistent throughout his career. He knows what he has to do to get batters out. Check our Mazda leaders as far as most runs scored by a rookie in American League history. Joe DiMaggio at the top at 132. Ted Williams. And Trout not too far behind. Just 8 behind the all-time record for runs scored by a rookie in the American League.
124 runs scored through 131 games. Tied with Ty Cobb in 1921 for third most all-time in Major League Baseball history. Napoleon Lajoie scored 145 runs in 131 games. As the first one is down low. And it is 1 ball, no strikes. Trout hit a fly ball to right field on the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. And in case you're wondering, Miguel Cabrera, who came in as a leader in the American League in batting average, went 0 for 4 tonight for the Tigers, who defeated the Kansas City Royals 5-4. The 1-0 downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
Boy, Hernandez throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. Now all of a sudden, the breaking pitch not quite as crisp.
3 balls and no strikes. Oliva's going to go out and talk things over yet again with Torii Hunter on deck. You know, it bears repeating when you start talking about the most valuable player, and you know, we get a chance to see what Mike Trout does on a daily basis. Perhaps those in the Midwest and East Coast do not get that opportunity. But the Angels were 6-14 when Trout got called up. They are 79.55 as he looks at a strike. 24 games over 500 since the arrival of Mike Trout.
And the runs per game way up since he's come into that everyday lineup.
Time is called. Felix works quickly.
Going to get a couple of those up here at some point.
29 pitches here, the second for Felix Hernandez. 3-1 pitch, fouled back.
Well, he had a good hack at that fastball.
So with a full count of 2 outs, Iannetta will be off with a pitch from first base.
Well, he challenged it with that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 4-seam fastball, fouled it straight back. 30 pitches thrown already in this inning. Stressful 30 pitches.
There goes Iannetta. That is up and in, and he walked him. So the bases are loaded for Torii Hunter. Back-to-back walks issued by for Felix. Torii 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the first. Good career numbers against Felix Hernandez. Working from the stretch. Swings the first one and bounces it to Seager. The inning comes to an end. But the Angels strike for 2 here in the second. We will head to the third. Eric Kaibar putting the Angels up early on this one with that double. 2-0 Angels. Kaibar helping the Angels out with a 2 RBI double. The Angels had an opportunity to attack on much more. Left the bases loaded as Torii swung at that first pitch and grounded out to end the second as the Angels sent 8 men to the plate against Felix Hernandez. Casper Wells, the right fielder, steps in, and the first one is high. For ball 1. Wells got into the game last night as a pinch hitter, went 0 for 1. .222, has 8 home runs and 30 runs batted in. Looks at a strike to even the count. Wilson with 2 strikeouts, no walks.
25 pitches thrown, 17 in the strike zone.
Breaking pitch. Boy, pretty good location. Gary Cederstrom doesn't even bother to ask for help at first base. I didn't think he went around, but I thought that pitch was pretty close to being a strike by itself. But it's 2-2. Two on the way. That almost hits him. And a full count.
Want to make sure you keep this ball down. 2-seam fastball. Get it the middle or away and see if you can get a ground ball and an infielder.
He walked him. So leadoff man is on via the base on ball.
This week's high school football 4 game of the week features the Eagles of Edison taking on the San Clemente Tritons Friday night at 8:30 on Fox Sports West. And log on to foxsportswest.com/prepzone and catch other games streaming live. Like I mentioned last night, extremely good programs, especially when you're named the Eagles, Edison.
I was just going to say I'm assuming.
Or the Eagles, we would say.
Pretty good programs.
No question.
There's Sean Figgins, gets a nice round of applause by the Eagles faithful. Looks at a strike. Getting a stride in left field tonight. I think 183, a couple of home runs, 11 runs batted in. He's not been the same player since he departed for Seattle. Relegated to part-time duty. Cayaspo playing in. The breaking pitch is down and in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he put up some great numbers wearing that Angel uniform over the years.
No doubt about it.
Dynamic offensive threat, not only with the bat, but with the steals. Holds the Angel record with steals at 280.
One and two. Leadoff walk to Casper Wells with the Angels up 2-0. Now the 1-2 pitch. Figgins just got a piece of it, keeps his at-bat alive. This is the part of the order that you would think C.J. Wilson would be really attacking the strike zone with. Wells came in batting 222, Figgins 183, Brendan Ryan hitting 191. Then you go to the top of the order, Dustin Ackley.
Yeah, you want to force him, and Sean Figgins, he's batting from the right side. You have a better chance of getting that double play ball.
1-2 off the plate. CJ at times trying to be too fine with the corners.
And at times allows what he thinks is a perfect pitch. He doesn't get the call for it. Lets it get into his head a little bit. He's got to just move forward. He's got great stuff so far tonight.
Now the 2-2. And another full count. Both of those pitchers off the plate.
Three full counts for CJ so far.
And this is the inning that you'd think that you come out there like gangbusters. You got a 2-0 lead against Felix Hernandez. And don't mess around whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't get many chances to score against Hernandez. So when you get those 2 runs like the offense did, that's Might be all you're going to get during the course of a game when he's in there.
Wells goes. The pitch is upstairs, and it's ball 4. So C.J. Wilson has walked the first 2 guys to start the 3rd inning. And Mike Butcher's going to come out and pay a visit.
And one thing you don't want to do, especially when the first 2 innings was as dominant. 6 batters face, all 6 outs. And a couple quick outs to start an inning. Back-to-back 1 pitch outs.
And again, starting to nibble when you don't need to nibble.
Especially when you see that life on the fastball.
Six up and 6 down through the first 2 innings, including a couple of strikeouts. The first 2 batters of each inning, Ackley and Montero respectively, swinging at the first pitch and getting out. Got ahead of both Wells and Figgins, got to a full count and walked both of them. And now Brendan Ryan coming up. This has been the story of C.J. Wilson's second half of the season.
But still, he has that ability in him to get that ground ball at an infielder and get a double play. That's the mindset he has to have right now.
Brendan Ryan last night 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs, hitting .191 on the season. Castle's playing in, as is Morales. Showing bunt late, fouls it back. Almost as if Ryan was trying to bunt for a base hit there. Got the bat out there a little bit late. There's Jeff Datz, the third base coach.
Well, if you're asked to bunt here, that's what you want to do. You want to square around and advance the base runners. You don't care if you're out. You want to put those guys in scoring position if you're Brendan Ryan.
Shows bunt early this time. The breaking ball is a strike. 0-2.
That's the one thing knowing Eric Wedge. He stresses when you're asked to do something, especially when your team is struggling to score runs. You want to do those little things to advance the base runner.
Oh, 2 pitch, swing and a foul. Trickles back to the backstop. Wells standing at second, Figgins at first. This one bounced to the left side and a base hit. Wells will come in to score. Figgins trying to go to third. Trumbo's throw goes toward third base. Cutoff man. And so Seattle gets a run back. It is 2-1 Angels and runners at first and third, and still nobody out here in the third inning.
A 0-2 pitch, his fourth 0-2 pitch of the game for CJ, and he got too much of the plate here. Inner half, and Brendan Ryan was able to get that ground ball in the hole between short and third.
Brendan Ryan picks up his 31st RBI. So Figgins at third base. Ryan is over at first. Just can't come out to an inning after taking a lead in a crucial game and walk guys. Ackley swung at the first pitch to start off the ball game, and he grounded out to Howie Kendrick. Takes down low for ball 1. Ackley had a 1 for 5 night last night with a double and 4 strikeouts, hitting .231 on the year with 12 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Hit .273 last season in his rookie year. This one's popped up. Eric Ibar cutting across near the foul line, calls Callaspo off, makes the catch. 1 out, a big out.
And a heads up play too by Ibar, running that baseball in as Ryan thought about if he makes any kind of a throw in towards the infield, he was going to try to get to second base and stay away from that potential double play ball.
So one out, runner still at the corners. Franklin Gutierrez stepping in. 0 for 1. A strikeout victim of the first. Swing and a miss on the off speed.
Gutierrez has grounded in the 5 double plays.
This one line to left. It'll be deep enough to tie this game up as Figgins comes in to score, and Wilson's given up the lead, and it's now tied at 2.
And both those walks come around to score.
So 2 outs and a man at first for Kyle Seager. Sac fly for Gutierrez, picks up his 16th run batted in. Kyle Seager 0 for 1. That was the play that Kendrys Morales made, diving toward the foul line to end the first. Lifted in the air on the left side of the infield. Alberto Callaspo calls off C.J. Wilson. And the inning comes to an end, but back-to-back leadoff walks comes back to haunt. We'll head to the bottom of the third, now tied at 2. Angels that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form in the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. What was once a 2-0 Angels lead dissipated in the top of the third inning, and here in the bottom of the third it'll be Pujols, Morales, and Callaspo to face Felix Hernandez with a long bottom of the second, and the breaking ball is inside to Albert. 1 ball, no strikes on the Angels DH, who struck out swinging in the first. One ball, 1 strike. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks by Felix Hernandez, and that kind of goes back to that mentality for Torre of swinging at that first pitch after Felix walked 2 guys to load the bases. This one's ripped foul. That got into the seats very quickly. Everyone's all right. 1-2.
That's the one thing about Felix Hernandez. He will not give in, even though in a couple tough walks against him. And Ionetta had a great at bat. Same thing with Mike Trout. He wasn't going to just throw that 4-seam fastball middle of the plate and challenge Torre. He was utilizing that 2-seamer again. Had good sink action. He got that quick ground ball out.
2-2. Albert chases another pitch in the break, in the dirt, I should say. And there's the first out here to third. So Felix has struck out Pujols twice now. We'll take a look at our Kia standings. As far as the big races are concerned, the divisions. Yankees won today. Baltimore also won, so they keep pace for the Yankees, a game and a half back. Detroit defeated the Kansas City Royals. The White Sox currently trailing the Cleveland Indians. That game's in the top of the 7th, so if the White Sox lose, Chicago would be a game back, and then they start a 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow. Morales takes up and away, and it's 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, you would assume the way everything is going that every race is going to get down to that last 3 games, 3-game series of the year throughout the entire league. The National League's pretty much all settled right now.
Yeah, 2 balls and no strikes on Morales, and if Oakland hangs on to win, that game's in the 8th inning, 8-3 A's, they would find themselves 3 back in the West, with 1 more to play in Arlington. The last 3 games of the regular season for those 2 teams will be played at the Coliseum. Oakland hosting the Texas Rangers, while the Angels will finish up in Seattle beginning on Monday. That pitch is in. It's 3-1 now. Morales got the rally started for the Angels in the second with a base hit past the overshift. So he is 1 for 1 tonight. This one's bounced over to first base. Smoke's got it. He'll flip it to Felix. 2 outs. Two up and 2 down for Felix Hernandez here in the third. Alberto Callaspo coming up.
We'll see if Callaspo can look inside for a fastball and have success against Hernandez again. Not a ton of success throughout his career, but his last few at bats against him pretty good, including a grand slam.
Base hit for Callaspo. Back into second. 1 for 1. Count evened up. This one sliced past Seager, the third baseman. It's a 2-out single for Callaspo. So 2 for 2 is Alberto. And that'll bring up Howie Kendrick, who had a sacrifice bunt in the second inning.
Second really good at bat against Hernandez by Callaspo. First at bat, a base hit in the right center field. This one, a pitch, good pitch by Hernandez away. Callaspo went with the pitch.
1-0 pitch. This one bounced to third. Seager has the big hopper. Fires to first. The inning comes to an end. No runs ahead, 1 left on, 3 in the books here at the Big A. We are tied at 2. Seattle tied things up. This is a much better hitting team, the Mariners, even though they rank last or close to last in virtually every offensive category. But a better road team offensively than they are at home. 248 batting average. They had 11 hits last night. At Safeco Field, they've hit just 217. They had just 1 hit in that third inning. That was Brennan Ryan's single. 2 walks that started off the inning to Casper Wells and Sean Figgins coming back and scoring as Montero looks at a strike. An 0-1 count on the Mariner DH, who's 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball, more of a line drive out to Mike Trout leading off the second.
Yeah, there's talk about moving in those fences in Safeco.
0-2. Question is how much you move fences in so that it still plays fair for both sides. Meaning Cedarstrom rings up Montero, and down he goes for the first out. Montero tried to hold up. You could bring him in for the offensive side, but if you bring him in too far, it's a spacious ballpark to begin with, so you've got some room to play with. If you bring them in too far, and all of a sudden it kind of negates a little bit of the pitching side of things.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're built around their pitching staff right now. They would like to be able to score some more runs for their pitchers, but if you're bringing in too far, all of a sudden you've taken away that advantage as the home team on the pitching side. Very deep bullpen, solid starting pitching also.
First one is outside to Justin Smoak. Comerica Park did that when they opened up. It was a huge ballpark. Still is out to straightaway center field to the power alleys. They brought in that left field fence just a little bit. I think it still plays pretty fair on both sides. You can still pitch to that ballpark, spacious to the alleys.
Yeah, this right center field seems to be the one area where you can hit the ball well and get a home run.
Now they brought the seats down and that fence in a little bit. When the bullpens originally, one of them or both of them were situated in right field. When that ballpark first opened. Smoak looks at his strike team in the count.
Yeah, you wonder how they'd be able to do that at Safeco. You know you could bring the fences in left center field more than likely, but right center field and right field might be difficult to do so.
Smoak drills one out to deep left field, and the Seattle Mariners are going to have themselves a 3-2 lead. 19th home run of the year for Justin Smoak in his third of the series.
Smoak continues to swing the bat well. Now 5 home runs in his last 11 games. And 8 RBI. Inner half, no question about that swing. 18th home run that CJ has allowed this year.
49th run batted in for Smoke. 3-2 Seattle as Olivo looks for the strike. Olivo struck out swinging into second. One and two now. Game in Texas now in the bottom of the 8th. Oakland still leading now on 8-3. In Chicago, they've reached the bottom of the 7th. Tampa Bay hung on the win. This one's lined off the glove of Callaspo. That's a foul ball. Or did it go off of Callaspo at all? I guess not, because Adrian Johnson called it foul. Nice effort by Alberto.
Well, that was real close. Hit well by Olivo.
Nope, that was foul. Good call by Adrian Johnson. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I mentioned that Tampa Bay score because at the start of the day, the Rays just 1 game back of the Angels in the American League wild card. So the Halos not only need to win to keep pace with the teams ahead of them, need a win to stay a game ahead of Tampa Bay. Fouled back off the mask of Vianetta. Count remains even to 2-2.
Well, like we've said, every single game so important from this point forward. Every single pitch, every single at bat.
And a full count. 4th full count for C.J. Wilson tonight. He's thrown 58 pitches so far through 3 1/3. Angels starting to get some action in the bullpen already. Jerome Williams up with 1 out here in the 4th. This is lined into center field. A 1-out base hit by Olivo. That pitch was up in the zone.
Olivo had some good swings throughout that entire at bat.
Our GoPro bullpen cam showing Jerome warming up. Mike Butcher's going to come out and walk slowly to give Jerome an opportunity to get ready. And now picks up the pace. 3-2 Seattle, courtesy of the Justin Smoke home run.
And CJ's job right now is to make sure he keeps it a 3-2 deficit. With Felix Hernandez on the mound, if he gets on a roll, threw the ball pretty well last inning. It becomes more difficult to come back, although his pitch count is fairly high. That bullpen is pretty deep for Seattle.
First one to Casper Wells is down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Wells worked the leadoff walk into 3rd inning. Came around to score. One of the 2 runs the M's put on the board. Hitting just 155 over his last 34 games. But still patient enough to work that walk into 3rd. Olivo takes off. The pitch is down low, and they got him at second. Olivo can't believe it. Fielding Colbreth.
What a tag.
Yeah, the question is where the hand was, and Eric Wedge can't believe it. I mean, from here it looked like he got in there, but that throw tailed to the second base side of the bag. The tag was applied, but Olivo was already by him. Question is, where's the hand in relation to the tag?
He got him.
Sure
that
enough.
was a great play by Howie Kendrick. Quick throw by Iannetta, but a great play by Howie.
Yeah.
On the leg, he got him.
He
That's
sure
a good
did.
call.
Very good call. Three-0 pitch. It's a strike, 3-1. Full count. Time is called. A beach ball has come onto the warning track in right field. So full count. Fifth now in the game for CJ. With 2 outs here in the fourth. 3-2 Seattle. And he walked him. So Casper Wells, the walk machine in this ball game. 2 base on balls. He's on board for Sean Figgins, who also worked the walk in the third inning.
Boy, a big batter here for CJ, especially with a right-handed batter on deck, and Brendan Ryan. Jerome is going to be ready at this point down in the bullpen.
One ball, one strike on Sean Figgins. Halo's taking CJ to a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the second, but Seattle scoring twice in the top of the third. Have scored once here in the fourth. And Figgins fouls this one back. Nice catch. A fan in the first row, the club seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the 7th time since July the 6th. And C.J. Wilson has given up a lead. Swing and a miss. Down goes Figgins. The inning comes to an end, but Seattle takes the lead on the home run by Justin Smoak, his 19th of the year. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Mariners.
the second inning. A fastball out over the plate, slashes it down the left field line for a double of 31st. Drives in 2. Well, he's been swinging the bat so well. In his last 80 games, 347. And it all started right around when interleague play started. The swing back, much better, quieter approach at the plate.
Now the Angels will play from behind here as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Ibar, Trumbo, and Iannetta to face Felix Hernandez, who has struck out 4 and walked 2. Ibar 1 for 1 with that double in the second inning. A couple of runs batted in. Tries to bunt his way on and does so by punching it over the head of Kyle Seager. Ibar will stop right there as Figgins was playing shallow and left. It gets to the baseball very quickly.
Well, this is a nice play by Eric Ibar. Jim Eppert, hitting coach, smiling in there. Seeing the Eric Ibar did a great job as far as just punching that ball over Seager's head. He knew he was playing in. You have to respect Ibar's ability to bunt. Always amongst the leaders as far as bunt hits. Get over the head, and Sean Figgins, nice job as far as charging that ball, playing shallow, keeping him at first base.
You think Torrey reminds him of a young Torrey, bunting like that?
No, there's no question.
He's the best. That's still one of the all-time best quotes on Peter Borges when he got to the big leagues. Mark Trumbo looks at a fastball for a strike. Reminds me of a young me.
He's one of the best all-time sound bites,
yep.
All the time.
Trumbo saw nothing but breaking pitches in the second inning, and he struck out, and Felix just snuck a fastball by him, and it's an 0-1 count. Good lead for Ibar at first base. Eric with 18 stolen bases has been caught 4 times.
King Felix has allowed 16 stolen bases, 23 attempts, does have 1 pickoff.
No, 2.
We throw him an inside changeup. A lot of confidence in that pitch.
Oh, 2. Breaking pitch, got him swinging. There's out number 1. Let's go to our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Felix Hernandez just picked up his 5th strikeout. Albert Pujols, 11 seasons with at least 30 home runs and 100 runs batted in. Which 4 players have done it more times? Iannetta steps up. No official at bat for him. Quick throw over there. Quick tag by Smoke. Chris worked himself a walk in the second. Saw 12 pitches in that inning, or that plate appearance, I should say. Eventually leading to a walk. One of 2 that Hernandez has issued tonight. The other one's right behind him, and Mike Trout at that point loaded the bases. 1 ball, no strikes. Hey, Chris seems like there's some guys you just feel comfortable with. You see the baseball out of their hands. That first plate appearance, 12 pitches. That first one right there, look, he wanted to start to swing. Got a good read on it.
And that's pretty tough not to swing at that pitch at 92 with that movement.
Ibar again with a big lead at first base. Lays off the breaking ball. 2 balls and no strikes.
And that's frustrating as a pitcher. You make 2 pretty good pitches. You think you're going to get a swing from a batter, and both times checked it off, and now he's ahead of the count 2-0. Iannetta is.
Eric Ibar with a bunt base hit to lead off this 4th inning. Trouble with a strikeout. 3-0.
And that's the frustrations as a pitcher when you made 2 pretty good pitches and the batter didn't make a pass at it, then you overthrow a pitch, and that's what he did. Now 3-0 count. I believe Iannetta will have a take here.
Trout is on deck. 3-1.
Might see some movement here. 3-1 count.
Three balls, one strike, one out. Mariners lead at 3-2. Ibar doesn't go, and it's a swing and a miss. Full count. Now with the breaking pitch there.
Boy, pretty surprising that he did so, especially at Iannetta. First at bat worked a long walk, and there at 3-1, it laid off a couple tough pitches into a breaking pitch that wouldn't have been a strike.
Outfield kind of shallow against Iannetta. Ibar takes off. The 3-2 is called strike three. The throw gets into center field. Iannetta is called out. Eric stops at third. And he is standing there with two outs as he picks up the stolen base, and then the error charge to Olivo.
When Ibar thought about this continuing on, and Olivo was looking to see where the throw was going to be in after this ball got by Ackley after it slid into by Eric Ibar. Basically just to tell him to read that in case it was a low throw into the cutoff man. If you want to give Mike Trout a chance to swing, you don't want to take a chance.
Trout 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right and a walk. 1 ball, no strikes.
And Hernandez still fighting command. 70 pitches thrown. Also has 13 wild pitches this year.
1-0 pitch. Fouled back. The 1-1 breaking pitch. A little cut fastball to it. Up in the zone, 1-2.
That's the one area that of late Mike Trout has had a tough time with, that fastball, especially away.
Ibar standing at third, representing the tying run. That's up and in. Looked like Hernandez may have hurt himself. That left leg after delivering that pitch. Kind of hobbled off the mound.
And the follow through.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2 Seattle. Full count.
Still looking down at the landing area.
'74 pitches thrown by the big right-hander. Hunter on deck. Felix started to come set once again, and Trout asked for time. Olivo set up outside. The 3-2 is lifted in the air to right field. Casper Wells back a couple of steps. And this inning will come to an end. We've played 4 here at the Big A, and Seattle maintains a 3-2 lead. Baseball is brought to you by the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax. Start here. And by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on. Top of the 5th inning. It is 3-2 Seattle. Mariners setting up 9-1-2. Ryan, Ackley, and Gutierrez against C.J. Wilson. 70 pitches thrown by C.J. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 of which came leading off the third, and both of which scored at that point to tie the game up at 2. Justin Smoak put Seattle up with a 1-out home run in the 4th. Brendan Ryan drives one out toward left field. Mark Trumbo giving chase, and he can't make the catch. Bounces over the wall, and it's going to go as a ground rule double for Brendan Ryan, his 18th of the year, and he's got a multi-hit game.
Mark Trumbo is going to be playing shallow against Brendan Ryan. There's a slide in dive. The ball on the warning track and over the wall.
So the leadoff man in scoring position in Brendan Ryan. As Jerome Williams will get back up and start warming up in a hurry. Dustin Ackley, the second baseman and leadoff man, is 0 for 2 tonight with a ground ball out and a pop-up. He'll look at a strike. There's Jerome.
You want to try to stay away against Ackley here if you're CJ, because Ackley's trying to, at the very least, hit a ground ball to the right side of the infield.
Ackley lifts one out toward right center field. Playable for Torrey. Brendan Ryan back at the bag at second, and he's going to try to go to third. Here comes a throw from Hunter, and it hits Ryan in the back. So Brendan Ryan advances, stands at third with 1 out now, and Gutierrez coming up.
Torrey did a nice job as far as getting momentum going towards the throw to third base. It was a solid throw that hits Ryan in the back as he slides into third base. Solid throw, but a difficult angle because of the runner going towards the base at that point. Of course, in the infield in here now with 1 out.
Gutierrez 0 for 1. He strikeout in the first inning, a sac fly. in the third.
And the first pitch trying to throw that cut fastball in on the hands. They try to jam him and pop it up in the infield. Well, as a pitcher, always that first pitch in an RBI situation, you want to try to throw one right at the hitter's hands. See if you can jam him.
One and one. Good pitch. Down and in. A 1-ball, 2-strike count now. A game in Texas in the bottom of the ninth inning. And Oakland just about to wrap that one up 9-3. A's lead down when they dropped the 5 spot on the Rangers in the first inning.
A number of mistakes made by the fielders for the Rangers in that game.
Oakland will find themselves 3 games back of Texas in the West. 1-2. This was lined right to Callaspo, 2 outs.
Good sequence there by CJ. Another cut fastball in on the plate. Gutierrez hit that ball pretty well, but not enough to get it by Callaspo.
So 2 outs now for Kyle Seager, third baseman. Robbed of extra bases by Morales in the first, popped out to Callaspo on the infield grass. That ended the third. Thought about chasing that breaking ball. Did not go, says Adrian Johnson. 1 ball, no strikes.
Nice job by Iannetta to keep that ball from getting too far away from him. The man on third, always important as a catcher. Give up the body to keep that in front of you.
Here's the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The Halos in the bottom of the 5th inning will have Hunter, Pujols, and Morales coming up against Felix Hernandez. CJ giving up a leadoff ground rule double to Brendan Ryan to start this inning. Ackley with a fly ball to right. Gutierrez with the line out to third. They're trying to keep it a 1-run deficit as Seager swings through the breaking ball, 2-1.
And Seager guessing fastball there on a 2-0 count. Instead, CJ threw him a slider.
Lays off. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Big pitch here for CJ. Mike Scioscia may go to the bullpen with Montero, right-handed batter up, and Jerome Williams ready in the bullpen. Montero, much better hitter against left-handed pitchers compared to right-handed pitching.
Full count. Payoff pitch, and he got him swinging. Down goes Seager. The inning comes to an end. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels down by a run. Albert Pujols with 11 seasons of at least 30 home runs and 100 runs batted in. Which 4 players have done it more times? And Alex Rodriguez 14 times. Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, and Manny Ramirez, all 3 of those guys have done it 12. Albert due up second here in the 5th with the Angels down 3-2. Torrey Hunter to lead things off. Torrey looks at a breaking pitch that catches the inside corner. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The off-speed pitch just got a piece of it.
Well, like you said in the opening, Felix Hernandez has a lot of fastballs early in the game. That's your best chance to put some good at-bats against him. And the Angels did that in the second inning. They scored 2 runs. Now all of a sudden you're seeing him utilize his secondary pitch. A very good curveball, slider, changeup. I mean, that's an 88-mile-an-hour changeup he's throwing right there.
About to throw his 80th pitch of the night. Torrey's 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the first. Grounded out on the first pitch he saw with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the second. Halos had Felix Hernandez on the ropes. Back-to-back walks to Iannetta Trout to load the bases with 2 outs, with Torrey helping him out. Halos have stranded 5 base runners tonight. 1 for 4 with men in scoring position. Leadoff man retired to start this 5th inning. Subway Surprise on the line is the wild card. Here's a look at the standings. Both Baltimore and Oakland will continue on. The Angels need a win to stay 2 back of Oakland in the wild card. Otherwise, they would fall to 3 back and in a tie with the Tampa Bay Rays. The game in Chicago now is 6-4 Cleveland. So the White Sox at the end of the night could be a game back in the American League Central. Albert taps this one foul. It's an 0-1 count. For the Central, it's the Central or bust. They're not going to.
Yeah, that wild card's out of the way right now. And they don't play each other the rest of the season. White Sox with a tough 4-game series coming up with Tampa.
Oh, 2 count.
Talked about get it started, and they certainly did. The Angels against King Felix, as they've had in the past. Early runs score, but then Seattle respond right back and scored 2 at the top of the 3rd.
This one's fouled off to the right. Count remains at 0-2. Albert twice has punched out against Felix. Got 7 strikeouts tonight.
Try a slider here against him.
Garrett Richards now is up and warming up for the Angels.
Jesus Montero's due to lead off next inning. Right-handed batter. You got Justin Smoke, a switch hitter, then Olivo. 3rd hitter, another right-handed batter. Mike Scioscia may go to the bullpen.
Breaking pitch, tap foul. Just got a piece of it.
He did. It was just 83 pitches thrown. Certainly has enough pitches left in the arm if Mike Scioscia decides to go that route.
Fastball right down Broadway. And Albert goes down looking. 0 for 3 tonight with 3 punch outs, 2 outs.
There's a steady diet of off-speed pitches. Paints the outside part of the plate at 93. So that's the thing. You can't really look off-speed against Hernandez because his fastball is still a plus fastball. That one at 93.
Morales bounces the first one foul. It's an 0-1 count. Kendricks 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a ground out. Strike on the outside corner. 8 strikeouts now for Hernandez to go with 2 walks. 5 hits allowed. Little number on the left side. Felix off the mound's got it. Has himself a 1-2-3 inning. 5 complete here at the Big A in Seattle. Maintains a 3-2 lead.
Kyle Seager think he has a double down the line. Kenneth Morales, quick as a cat. The big cat, Andres Galarraga-like. Looks to play and steps on first base and gets Seager. There's a free scan brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Top of the 6th inning, it is 3-2 Seattle. Montero, Smoke, and Olivo here to face C.J. Wilson. With action in the Angels' pen, Jerome Williams back up once again. One ball, no strikes on Jesus Montero. The DH has hit a fly ball to center field. That was in the 2nd inning. He struck out in the 4th. This one's pulled through the left side, and it's a leadoff single. And the Angels' wives have put together their annual player favorites baskets for an online auction to raise money for the Angels Foundation. The baskets contain autographed game-used items and items from the players' hobbies other than baseball. To bid on the baskets and for more information, log on at angels.com/community. Base hit by Montero, the 5th for Seattle. Both teams now with 5. Here's Justin Smoke, who's 1 for 2. A pop-up to short and a home run in the 4th inning. Breaking ball in there. First strike. Good pitch in at the knees.
And if you're sitting there wondering if Mike Scioscia would go to the bullpen, bring the righty in against Smoke, switch hitter. CJ's ability to get the ground ball double play is the reason why I think Mike Scioscia decided to give him one more opportunity to be able to get that ground ball at an infielder.
Smoke lines one out to center field. Trout giving chase, still going back, and he will run it down. Montero heads back to first. Mike Scioscia's coming out. It appears as he is, and that's going to be it for C.J. Wilson. With Miguel Olivo coming up, Mike Scioscia's going to go to the bullpen. We've got ourselves a pitching change. We have one out here in the 6th inning. The Mariners lead at 3-2. Brought to you by the Memphis Barbecue Burger with pulled pork on a cheeseburger, new at Carl's Jr. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T Rethink Possible. And by Dodge. C.J. Wilson is done after 5 1/3 tonight. 87 pitches for him. He gives way to Jerome Williams. The one thing that stands out for C.J., and we've talked about this quite a bit in the second half. Last 10 starts, and that includes tonight. C.J. Wilson has gone 5 or fewer innings in 6 of those 10 starts. And tonight, just 5 1/3 after giving up the leadoff single to Montero. Smoke lined one out to center field. And Jerome comes on to face Miguel Olivo with 1 out. And the Angels down 3-2.
He was outstanding in his last relief appearance with 4 1/3. In relief of C.J. Wilson. Point C.J. in those first 2 innings was absolutely dominant. And then walked those first 2 batters and kind of lost rhythm from that point.
Olivo bounces one to short. High bar to Kendrick. On the first, inning ending double play. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Angels maintaining a 3-2 lead. Or down 3-2, I should say. Pardon me. scored. But Felix Hernandez tonight, certainly not the guy we've seen in the previous 3 starts against the Angels. He has been in command, although the Angels had an opportunity to kind of give him a little bit of a knockout blow, or at least make the knees a little bit weak in that second inning when they scored 2 runs but left the bases loaded.
As per the norm against Felix Hernandez, you have to get him early in the game. Angels with those 2 runs in the second, but an opportunity to get more. And Felix made a very good pitch. A little 2-seamer to get Torrey Hunter to ground out.
8 punch outs and 2 walks for Felix Hernandez. Ayaspo takes outside. This one pulled up the line. That is just foul. First base umpire Lance Barksdale making the call, and doing so very quickly. Count even up, and a ball and a strike. Seattle with 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They've stranded 3. The Angels with 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. And the Halos have left 5 men on base in a must-win situation. Otherwise, you lose a game in the standings as Alberto lifts one out to center. Gutierrez is there. 1 out.
Pitch count getting up there a little bit higher for Hernandez now with 93 thrown here in the 6th inning, and Eric Wedge will probably try to keep him around anywhere between 105 to 115 range. Does have a very deep bullpen. But still, if you can get Felix Hernandez out of the game, you're always going to feel better.
Howie looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. Kendrick with a sacrifice bunt of the second and a ground out to Seager in the third. He's in for 1. Here's the 0-2. The dirt, nice block by Lee, but just in case Howie, the idea is he's swinging at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right, back-to-back 89-mile-an-hour changeups from Felix Hernandez.
Called strike 3 on the inside corner. 2 outs. 9th strikeout now.
And drops a curveball on the inside part of the plate. Slider, 2 changeups, and then a curveball. Talked about that need to get that fastball. Even though it's a very good fastball early in the game, changes his game plan as the game progresses. More and more breaking pitches.
Eric Aybar looks at a strike. Aybar 2 for 2 with a double and a bunt single. A couple of runs batted in. With a bouncer up the first base line, and it trickles into foul territory. Double for Eric in the second inning, his 31st of the year. Now with 45 runs batted in. He had a leadoff single in the 4th. He was eventually stranded at third base. Trumbo struck out. Iannetta struck out looking. Aybar stole second and moved to third on the Iannetta punch out, and then tried to hit that fly ball to right field to end the 4th. This one's fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Another 0-2. Ibar bounces this one off the plate yet again. .101 pitches thrown by Felix Hernandez. No action in the Mariner pen. 70 strikes.
Those tough at bats against Iannetta and Trout.
One and two. Everything in the American League now in the books as finals. White Sox will start tomorrow. A 4-game series against the Rays. 1 game back in the American League Central. This one's popped up on the left side of the infield. Kyle Seager, the third baseman, is there. Felix Hernandez has himself a 1-2-3 6th. We'll head to the 7th. The Angels down 3-2. Loco, crazy you can taste. And by Southern California Toyota. Check out the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. Top of the 7th here at the Big A. It is a 3-2 Seattle lead. Jerome Williams threw 1 pitch in the 6th inning, got the double play that ended the frame. And here in the 7th, he'll face the bottom third of the order. Wells, Figgins, and Ryan. Angels taking a 2-0 lead in the 2nd inning. Courtesy of 3 hits. Eric Guybar had the 2 RBI double. And then Seattle scored twice in the 3rd. A single by Brendan Ryan after back-to-back walks. And then a sac fly by Gutierrez. And then smoke. But Seattle in the lead with a home run in the 4th. 0-1 count on Casper Wells, the right fielder, who has drawn 2 walks tonight. One ball, 1 strike. Felix Hernandez has retired 9 consecutive batters since giving up that leadoff bunt hit by Eric Guybar in the 4th.
Looks like there's some action down in the Seattle bullpen, though.
1-1 pitch, foul tipped into the mitt. 1-2 now. Josh Kinney, the right-hander, begins to warm up. This one out towards center field, chasing Trout back. Has a beat on it, makes a catch. So Casper Wells, for the first time this evening, is retired. Hurry into your local Chevy dealer today and get a great deal on a brand new 2012 Chevy. Right now, during Chevy Truck Month, you can take advantage of great pricing on a Silverado, Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse. Hurry in while supplies last. Here's Sean Figgins with one out, nobody on. Figgins, the left fielder, drew a walk in the third inning and came around to score, and then struck out in the fourth. Takes a strike on the corner. Nick Miranda now warming up for the Angels. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When that sure appears as if Felix Hernandez is done now.
One and two. Well, if he is done, he finishes the night with 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 hits allowed in 6 innings. 2 runs allowed. Breaking ball down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Most time that indication is when you see a starting pitcher starting to talk to his teammates and standing up. It means he's done for the night.
You mean showcasing those social skills?
Yes. Usually you sit there and you're just kind of in a trance sitting on the bench.
Is that what you used to tell Dick Hauser? I'm in a trance.
He goes, that doesn't surprise me.
Full count.
Aren't you in a trance every day of the week?
Swing and a miss. Down goes Figgins. 2 down.
Jerome with good action on that 2-seam fastball against a swing and miss against Figgins. Jerome has done a nice job coming out of the bullpen of late. 2-seam fastball's been great. His changeup, his slider, everything's been down around knee level.
Mentioned that start that CJ had against Texas, going just 2 2/3. It was Jerome that came in and went 4 1/3 and shut out baseball. Ryan swinging at the first pitch, bounces one to short. Guy ball around the Mariners shortstop. And Jerome Williams with a 1-2-3 inning. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A, 3-2 Seattle.
Now let's take a look at our Nissan game reset with the Mariners leading the Angels here 3-2. Eric Ibar, 2-run double in the second. At that point, he gave the Angels a 2-0 lead. Then Seattle tied it, and Justin Smoak go ahead home run in the fourth. 2 home runs last night, home run today, 3 in the last 2 games for Justin Smoak.
A right-hander Josh Kinney comes on in relief of Felix Hernandez. 33-year-old right-hander has been around professional baseball a long time, signing in 2001. Last year pitching with the Chicago White Sox. This year 31 games at 0-3, marking a 3.94 ERA. He loves his breaking ball.
Yeah, fastball is 89 to 93, but throws a ton of sliders. 51% of his pitches are going to be sliders. So the approach you have to try to take against his slider if you're Mark Trumbo is to try to drive something hard to right center field. If he makes a mistake on the inner half with that slider, he could still turn on it.
Just a one-run deficit in a must-win game. Mark Trumbo tonight, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He'll be followed by Chris Iannetta, then Mike Trout. Here's the first one. Breaking pitch. Lifted out toward left center field. Trumbo out in front. One away.
Was that little hanging slider there?
So one pitch and one out for Josh Kinney. Here's Chris Iannetta. Iannetta's drawn a walk and has struck out looking. So he's 0 for 1. Felix Hernandez, 6 innings, 5 hits, 9 punch outs, 2 walks, 2 runs earned. Kinney down at AAA Tacoma this year. 1-0 mark, a 2.70 ERA, 27 games. Two balls, no strikes. Looks like Kinney was looking at that landing area after he threw that pitch.
And he overthrew his fastball.
Two-0. Sliders in there. 2-1.
There's definitely no guarantee on the fastball count you're going to get a fastball from Kinney. He's going to throw a lot of sliders as he did so on that 2-0 count to Iannetta.
Two and two. Trout's on deck. One out here, the 7th. This one's cued off the end of the bat, and that's going to fall in for a hit. Iannetta will stop at first. For the pitch runner, and Peter Bourjos is coming out.
You saw Iannetta get the base hit right away. You saw Matt Piccolo and Mike Scioscia talking. Bourjos with that very good speed at first base now. Good at bat. Fought off a tough pitch. Iannetta to get a base hit.
So Bourjos is on board, representing the tying run, and Trout coming up. Mike's 0 for 2 with a couple of fly ball outs to right, and he's also walked.
Kenny has allowed 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Slider's a very difficult pitch to be able to catch and throw if you're a Levo behind the plate.
Left side of the infield is playing in. We talked about this a little bit last night about Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, where he likes to play on occasion, especially when you've got speed either on the bases or in the batter's box. Ackley's cheating in at second base.
Well, you got to have a lot of confidence in your ability to be able to react because Trout hits the ball extremely hard.
The first one is a fastball for a strike. Gary Cederstrom has been calling that inside pitch to righties all night long. Conversely, it's the outside corner to lefties. Oliver Perez, the left-hander, Stephen Pryor, the right-hander. And yes, that is the original Oliver Perez. 0-1. Bouncer toward the left side. Seager tries to cut it off. Does so. Throws out Trout. Borges ends up at second. 2 outs. To the left to Torrey, who's 0 for 3 tonight. He and Albert very happy that Felix Hernandez no longer in this ballgame. 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts was Hernandez against those two guys. Torrey 0 for 3 with 2 punch outs and a ground ball to third. That ground ball to third proving to be a very big at bat for the Angels in this game thus far. And that came with the bases loaded on the very first pitch with 2 outs after Hernandez walked Trout to load the bases.
Well, Torrey's been so clutch in these situations for quite some time this year.
All you're looking for is a little flare. The speed of Borges, although Ackley really guarding second base, trying to keep Borges as close to the bag as possible. Figgins very shallow on left. Gutierrez straight up at normal depth at center, and Wells in a couple of steps at right. The first one's a breaking pitch. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, if I'm Eric Wedge, if I'm Ackley at second, I'm not necessarily worrying about Borges. I'm worried about coverage on that side of the infield, because if a base hits in the outfield, that's going to score Borges no matter what.
Looked like Robbie Thompson from the Mariners dugout on the first base side just talking to Ackley. Here comes the 1-0. Swinging a foul back at the fastball on the inside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mentioned Kenny likes to throw that slider. Ramirez last night threw a hanging breaking pitch to Torrey Hunter, which he deposited over the left center field wall for a 2-run home run. And we've seen Kenny throw a couple of those breaking pitches that have been near the heart of the plate.
In that first one, then he got Trumbo to fly out. That was a hanger.
Borges the pinch runner. Chris Inetta had a flare single to right field, advancing to second on the ground out by Trout. Time is called. Torrey tired of waiting.
And that right side of the infield, especially when you have a pitcher that throws a lot of sliders, if it's away, all Torrey has to do is put the ball in play to that side of the infield. He's got a chance to get a hit and tie the game up.
Justin Smoke playing off the line at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner, 1-2. And that's that pitch that you just want to punch to the right side, but he's looking breaking pitch.
Well, that was the perfect pitch to do so, with that side of the infield open up, with Ackley still trying to keep Borges close at second.
Iannetta singled, 1 out here in the 7th. First base runner the Angels with Patrick Zybar leading off the 4th. Now it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count, and it's a breaking pitch rolled foul.
These are the times as a hitter you're looking to see if Kenny does anything different between the fastball and the slider, as far as that little bit of an advantage you may have as a hitter. There's a lot more movement in his glove there with his slider as it was to the fastball.
That's the tying run. Standing at second base of Peter Borges. 1-2 foul back.
And that was a hanger, hanging breaking pitch. Torrey was right on that one, fouled it straight back.
Sinking fastball. Still a 1-2 count. Pujols on deck. Seager back at third and guarding the line. Ryan playing Torrey to pull toward that shortstop hole. Ackley near the bag at second, trying to keep Borges there and smoke off the line. Another 1-2, breaking pitch, looked out to right center field, base hit. Borges is going to come around, and we are tied at 3. Torii Hunter does it again.
Talk about Mr. Clutch. Clutch at bat. Tough pitch by Kenny, but able to fight it into the right field and drive in Peter Borges, who pinch ran for Chris Iannetta, who had a tough at bat himself and got a hit. Exactly what we were talking about him trying to do, just hit the ball to that side of the field and just over the head of Ackley and in the right field for an RBI. RBI number 87 for Torii Hunter.
Just a little flare into the outfield, right? That's all you need.
The Nature Boy.
30 runs batted in over the last 32 games. A 3-3 tie here in the 7th. Here's Albert Pujols. No decision for Felix Hernandez for the effort tonight. Albert fouls one at the plate, and it's an 0-1 count. Got that sinking fastball down and in. Albert tonight 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. Never really looked comfortable at the plate against Felix, but then again, not many do when Felix Hernandez is dealing.
Exactly, especially when he started throwing all speed pitches. And then he got Albert to look at a fastball the last at bat at 93.
Hunter with his 87th run batted in. Stands at first, the 0-1. Upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strikes. There are times where Josh Kenny drops that elbow with that slider and it just flattens out. The old cement mixer slider. And the one he threw to Torrey, that last one that Torrey got the base, that was a pretty good pitch.
It was off the plate.
1-1. Give him credit because he keeps that fastball in off the plate on right-handers.
He doesn't let that fastball stay out over the plate at all. He runs it in on the hands.
The one fastball that he has thrown in this inning away from a right-handed batter was strike 2 to Hunter. And he painted the outside corner, and Torrey was looking for that breaking pitch. Time is called. Here's the 1-2. Broken down, roller foul. That's right. If that was the gamer that he had for the first 3 at-bats,
I mean, that's all right.
Let's get rid of him. Didn't die a hero, but dead nonetheless.
I mean, that fastball ran in almost at his hands right away.
Tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Torii Hunter standing at first. The 1-2. This is lined out to left field. Figgins coming on. He'll play it on a hop. Torii stops at second. And the Angels have runners at first and second base. Albert extending his hitting streak to 8 games now. And looks like Eric Wedge is going to make the call here. They have the left-hander Oliver Perez ready to go, and that's what Wedge is going to do. A pitching change here in the 7th. The Angels coming into this inning down by a run. The flare single off the end of the bat by Chris Iannetta. Borges, the pinch runner, advancing to second on the ground out by Trout. Torii Hunter tying things up. We're still in the 7th, knotted up at 3.
and smoke with the score tied at that point. 2-2. It's a solo shot, giving the Mariners a 3-2 lead. But Torreon and Mr. Clutch. Base hit in the right field scores. Peter Borges, who pinched around for Chris Iannetta, who had a clutch hit himself. We are 3-3. Albert Pujols with a base hit, first and second with 2 outs.
Oliver Perez, the left-hander, native of Mexico, comes into the ball game, 31 years of age. He's been around the big leagues a long time. Spent a good chunk of the season at AAA Tacoma. Comes on with 2 outs and 2 on. Hunter standing at second, Pujols at first. Kendrys Morales, the batter. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Pickoff attempt, and Hunter gets the hand back in there.
Boy, a quicker throw. They have him.
Yep. Good spin move by Perez, but a little hesitation because Ackley didn't really cut toward the bag immediately. Ackley was still looking at Hunter.
Yeah, that was going to be a timing play that was a little bit off, fortunately enough, for the Angels. Perez, he's got a good fastball, 91-96. A hard slider.
There's the first one on the way, and it's a fastball that is a big rip by Kendrys, and it's an 0-1 count. 31st game in the big leagues this year for Oliver Perez. A 1-2 mark, a 1.91 ERA. 28 in the 3rd innings, 24 strikeouts, and 10 walks, and that has been the issue that has plagued Oliver Perez over the last several years. A lot of pitches out of the strike zone, but seems to have corralled that a little bit this year with Seattle. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Challenge him yet again with another fastball, and it's an 0-2 count.
He's had much better velocity coming out of the bullpen. His fastball is averaging just slightly under 94 miles per hour. Last few seasons around 88, 89 as a starter.
The 0-2 missed in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 3 straight fastballs. Edwin Morales had a base hit from the left side of the plate against Felix Hernandez in the second. It came around to score. Kendrys just a 221 average from this side of the plate this year.
And still, we've seen Kendrys hit the best of fastballs.
The 1-2 pitch. This one's fouled off.
Pitchy generally has problems with that slow breaking ball down and in. Perez going after with him with 3 straight fastballs.
Oliver Perez, originally in the Padres system, got to the big leagues in 2002 with San Diego. Pitched with Pittsburgh, the Mets. And now the big leagues with the M's. Another 1-2. Breaking pitch. He lays off. Count even up. Olivo setting up inside. Looks like a fastball. Here's the 2-2. Bouncer to the left side. Brendan Ryan's got it. And the inning comes to an end, but not before the Angels tie things up on the Torrey Hunter single. We will head to the 8th, knotted up at 3.
cold, hard blast. Justin Smoak with one out in the fourth. And C.J. Wilson gets a cut fastball in and a half and turns on it. Third home run in this series so far for Smoak. The cold, hard blast brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Halos with a couple of changes in this inning. Peter Bourjos stays in the ballgame. He'll play center field. That moves Mike Trout over to left. And with Bourjos pinch running for Chris Iannetta, Bobby Wilson will put on the gear. Will bat in Mark Trumbo's spot in the order, the 8th spot, and Kevin Jepson takes over on the mound. 46th game of the year for Jepson. 3-2 mark, a 2.90 ERA, has a couple of saves. He'll face the top of the order for Seattle. Ackley, Gutierrez, and Seager.
Great job by Jerome Williams once again out of the bullpen.
There's the first one, and it's up and away. 1 ball, no strikes on Dustin Ackley tonight is 0 for 3. A ground ball to second, a pop to short, and a fly ball to right. Jepson pitched last night, won an inning and a third, had 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Count is evened up. 5 hits for Seattle, 8 for the Angels. The Halos have stranded 7. Mariners have left 3 on base. Breaking pitch, bounced over to short. Ibar's got it. One away. Be sure to subscribe to MLB.tv today. You can still take advantage of the new low pricing and see every remaining Angels out-of-market games live online in HD quality. Visit Angels.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. 1 up and 1 down, and here's Franklin Gutierrez, the center fielder who has struck out, hit a sacrifice fly into third inning, picking up his 16th run batted in. And he lined out sharply to Alberto Callaspo in the third. That was with Brendan Ryan standing at third base. First one is inside. You saw where Wilson was set up. He wanted that pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
No drop to the elbow, made that fastball running off the inside corner.
This one fouled back. One pitch. Lifted in the air. The first base side, this one headed toward the seats, 1-2. Looking ahead to the Angels, bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Callaspo, Kendrick, and Ibar. Scheduled 3. No decisions for both starters. C.J. Wilson gave up 3 runs in 5 1/3. Felix Hernandez 2 runs in 6 very solid innings for Seattle. Now the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. By far his best start against the Angels this year.
Best assortment of all speed pitches we've seen this year by King Felix. Good changeup. His curveball was solid, as was his slider.
Done at 103 pitches tonight. Two grounded to short. 2 outs. Kyle Seager tonight is 0 for 3. A ground out, a pop up, and a strikeout. One ball, no strikes. 37,916 tonight, surpassing 3 million fans for the year. Quiet for a good stretch of the game, but coming to life at bottom of the 7th, courtesy of Torrey Hunter's RBI single. 10 straight years of 3 million.
Pretty
plus.
amazing for fan support for Angel baseball. They love seeing what Torrey Hunter did once again, coming through with that big hit.
2-0 pitch. Just outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Jesus Montero is on deck. A 4-pitch walk. With 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And we'll bring up Montero.
Seager with good speed, 13 stolen bases. More likely you will see Kevin Jepson, before he throws a first pitch here to Montero, step off just to see if Seager will tip his hand as far as he's going to try to steal or not.
Montero, the DH, 1 for 3, had a single in the 6th inning. First one on the way. That is, that's right down the middle. Must have been just a little bit low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby Wilson out. That's 5 out of the strike zone for Kevin Jepson, who got a couple of groundouts too short for the first 2 outs here in the 8th. Out to straightaway center field, hit well. Borges is back at the wall, makes the catch in the inning, comes to an end in dramatic fashion as people head to the bottom of the 8th. Tied at 3. Here in the 8th will set up Callaspo, Kendrick, and Ibar against the fireballing right-hander Stephen Pryor, 23 years of age, native of Tennessee, comes on in relief. But boy, he has been a huge addition to Eric Wedge in his bullpen. Just another one of those power arms out there.
Yeah, he's 94 to 100 miles an hour on a fastball. Also with a cut fastball and occasional slider. That's the one pitch they want him to start to learn more so is his breaking pitch. Everything is hard. And eventually, as a hitter, you look for that fastball and you try to time it because he's going to generate all that power. He's given up 4 home runs in 20 to 30 innings pitched. So when he makes a mistake with the fastball, you square it up enough, and a chance to get out of the ballpark.
Pryor's been scored upon in just 5 of his 22 big league appearances this season. He's retired the first batter faced in 19 of 22. It's 86%. He was part of that no-hitter against the Dodgers back on June the 8th. That 6-pitcher no-hitter was started by Kevin Millwood. Roberto Callaspo 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. The first fastball is high, 1 ball, no strikes. You talk about definition of straight over the top. That's what Pryor is.
A lot of times hitters will say that's the type of pitch, even though it's getting close to 100 miles an hour at time, that's a pitch you can see a little bit more so.
That's a strike. 1-1. Mentioned Pryor grew up in Tennessee, went to Cleveland State Community College, drafted by Texas in the 42nd round, but went to Tennessee Tech University instead. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
That cut fastball has a pretty good movement to it.
5th round pick in 2010. Kendrick is on deck. Two and two. I'd love to see his numbers in college with this kind of stuff.
Imagine trying as a college hitter to try to catch up to a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball.
Bounced foul. And guarding the line.
91 mile an hour cut fastball. And the key for him is going to be in his development is something a little bit slower, whether it's a curveball or a changeup.
Here's the 2-2. This one's fouled back. Breaking pitch out toward right center field. Playable for Gutierrez, the center fielder. 1 out. So Howie Kendrick will step to the plate. There's 1 out here in the 8th. The Angels have Ernesto Frieri warming up in the bullpen. Now he's 0 for 2, including a sacrifice bunt.
Chased a high cut fastball.
Bouncer toward short. Brendan Ryan has it. So the base is clear for Eric Ibar. Eric's had a multi-hit game. 2 RBI double in the second inning. And bunt single over the head of Kyle Seager in the 4th. He popped out in the 6th. Seager playing in at third base just in case. Here's the first one.
Hard curveball. 81-mile-an-hour pitch. Got Callaspo out on a fly ball to center field on this curveball at 83.
One-0 pitch. This is pulled to the right shot. Ackley with a sliding stop. And Pryor has himself a 1-2-3 8th inning. We'll head to the 9th here at the Big A, tied at 3.
Aaron Iwakuma 2-0 this season. First games with a 1.56, but Dan Herron is throwing exceptionally well throughout his career versus Seattle. 12-6 lifetime with an ERA 2.56. Looking for his 13th win against just 11 losses this year.
Now we start the top of the 9th inning, tied at 3, and Ernesto Frieri has come on in relief. Ernesto picked up the 21st save of the year for himself last night. A 5-4 victory. He'll come on and face Smoke, Olivo, and Wells in the 9th inning, barring a pinch hitter by Eric Wedge. Ernesto last night pitched the 9th inning and faced Gutierrez, Seager, and Jaso. And Jaso is an option, I guess, for Casper Wells. So you can go Eric Thames if you want to go with a left-handed batter.
Yeah, you would think Jaso would get in the bat at this inning. He's hit so well. Angel pitching throughout his career.
That being said, it looks like Casper Wells is right there at the top step of the dugout with the helmet on. Here's Justin Smoke. He pulls the first one, and it's a diving stop by Howie Kendrick. Leadoff man retired on one pitch to start the 9th.
Well, Howie's made some nice plays in this game. Showing some real good range to the glove side. Able to get the all-important first out here in the 9th. Sliding, gathered himself. And get Smoke. A nice job at not only getting to that baseball, but making sure he's in good throwing position. And a nice job on that stolen base attempt early in the game. He was able to catch the ball and apply the tag before Olivo got his hand in on the base.
Here's Miguel Olivo. The catcher's 1 for 3 tonight and a single back in the fourth. First one is down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Bounce to third. 2 outs. And Wells will bat here in the 9th inning. At 2 outs and nobody on. He's drawn 2 walks and hit a fly ball to center field in the 7th. Kevin Jensen, by the way, 1 inning, 1 walk, and 1 very long fly ball to straightaway center field. This one out to the alley in right center field. Torrey is there. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ernesto Frieri on 5 pitches. Boy, to the bottom of the 9th. Tied at 3. Things off. He'll be pinch hitting for Bobby Wilson. The 8th spot in the order. Peter Borges is in the on deck circle, and then Mike Trout. So it's 8-9-1 for the Angels to face Pryor, who pitched a 1-2-3 8th inning. Fly ball to center and a couple of ground outs for the right-hander. Halos needing a victory tonight to remain 2 back of the Oakland Athletics to that 2nd spot of the wild card. Oakland defeated Texas tonight. They find themselves 3 back themselves in the West now, with 1 more to play against Texas. Baltimore won tonight big against the Toronto Blue Jays. Tampa Bay defeated the Boston Red Sox. So the Angels needing a win to stay 2 back of Oakland and keep Tampa Bay 1 back of the Halo.
When you look for here from Meister, just a good quiet approach to the plate. Just trying to make some good contact and get ones in something into the outfield. Borges on deck.
It would be a good time for him to get his first pinch hit of the season. He's 0 for 20 as a pinch hitter this year. The first one is in there for a strike. The fastball. An 0-1 count. Meister got the start at second base last night as he swings and misses on a breaking pitch. He's in the hole over 0-2. 4 fly ball outs for Asturias yesterday, 2 to the shortstop. He finished 0 for 4. Now the 0-2. Lifted foul and out of play. One ball, two strikes. The Angels had a 2-0 lead in the second. Seattle tied it with 2 in the third. Took the lead on the Smoke home run, his 19th of the year in the fourth. And the Angels tied it up in the bottom of the seventh. A 2-out single by Torrey Hunter. This is lined to right, and there it is. First pinch hit of the year for Meiser Escuras. Leadoff man is on board for the Angels to start the ninth.
You get the perfect scenario now for Mike Scioscia with Peter Bourjos up at his speed, his ability to get a bunt down, and Meiser at first base, a chance to be able to advance him into scoring position for Mike Trout. Talk about that good, quiet approach he had to take against a guy with that type of fastball that Pryor has. Nice approach here by Meiser.
First plate appearance for Bourjos. Came on as a pinch runner in the seventh for Chris Iannetta. Seager coming in at third. And the first one is in for a strike. Takes downstairs. Count even up at 1-1.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to try to bunt a mid to upper 90s fastball, but if he's gonna throw it low like that, it's a pitch you can get down on the ground. A high fastball is a very difficult one not to pop up.
Again showing bunt. Takes down low. The ball gets by Olivo. The winning run at second base. Wild pitch charge to Pryor.
He's going to get a wild pitch, but that's a play that Olivo will tell everyone after the game. He usually will block that, keep that in front of him. He kind of just jabbed at it instead of being able to get his body and turn the glove around to keep it in front of him.
No question about it. The veteran catcher should have knocked that ball down. Now Smoke comes in at first base. Seager kind of has to lay back at third. A 2-ball, 1-strike count on Peter Bourjos. Showing bunt, bunts it out in front of the plate. It's going to be a tough play for Olivo. Throws the first, and they got him. The sacrifice works as Escuras advances to third, and that'll bring up Mike Trout.
What a job by Bourjos. That is a very difficult pitch to get down on the ground. A high fastball, and then almost beat it out. Getting high fives from everybody in that dugout. You have no idea how difficult that is. Get that ball down on the ground when it's a high fastball in the upper 90s. I'm real surprised if they pitched to Trout.
Intentional walk is coming. This will be the second walk of the night for Trout. He drew a regular walk in the second. He's 0 for 3 overall. Two balls and no strikes. If you're Meiser, you got to get down the line just a little bit more, just in case Pryor fires one away.
Yeah, he's not looking real comfortable throwing this ball away.
And there's ball 4. So the Angels will have runners at first and third. And the chance have gone from MVP to Torrey. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, is going to come out and discuss things. with the entire infield.
A lot of times the manager will walk about it a load to base to have the force at home, but it'd be pretty amazing if he did so, especially with looking who's on deck. And Albert Pujols is one of the best run producers the game has ever seen. So Torii Hunter is going to get an opportunity here once again, more than likely, to win a game.
Long meeting is over.
And as a pitcher in these spots, you're going to throw one of two pitches, either a fastball in at the hands, or you're going to try to throw a breaking ball. That's times where you might bounce one, so you have to be ready if you're Meiser to be able to read that ball if it's in the dirt.
That middle infield once again playing in. They trust themselves to get in coverage for double play potentials. That ball's in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. You see Olivo trying to calm Pryor down a little bit, overthrowing his pitch. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Torrey's 1 hit tonight tied things up in the 7th. An RBI flare single out to right center field. Izturis, the winning run at third. Trout over at first base. Now the 1-0 outside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's Albert Pujols on deck. Two on. Line to left center field. Light that baby up as the Angels walk off on the Mariners by the final 4-3.
Or we could say it once again, Mr. Clutch coming through with another big base hit. Ties the game with a base hit to right center. Wins the game. An incredibly important game for the Angels. They come back and win this one against a very, very good bullpen of the Seattle Mariners. It all started with Meiser's base hit.
2 huge RBI singles for Torii Hunter. Meiser Izturis with his first pinch hit of the season. Moved to second on the wild pitch. Third on the sac bunt by Peter Borges, and he scores the run as the Angels come from behind and pick up the victory in walk-off style. 4-3 the final, especially with everybody having won in the American League wild card race. A must-win situation, and the Angels live yet another day. They remain 2 back of the Oakland Athletics with tonight's win.
I'll tell you, every single game seems to feel like it is the 7th game of the World Series as you try to fight your way into that postseason picture.